Welcome to WT History. In this series, we list all the major events that happened in the world in a year, starting from 1776 to 2024. On January 28th, the city of Olympia was officially incorporated in the Washington Territory, laying the foundation for what would later become the capital of the state of Washington. Just weeks later, on February 14th, Oregon entered the Union as the 33rd U.S. state, strengthening America's western frontier. On February 27th, Congressman Daniel Sickles shocked the nation when he shot and killed Philip Barton Key, the U.S. district attorney, after discovering Key's affair with his wife. It became one of America's earliest crimes of passion trials, with Sickles ultimately acquitted on the grounds of temporary insanity, a first in U.S. legal history. Then, on March 21st, Pennsylvania issued the charter that created the Zoological Society of Philadelphia, founding what would become the first zoo in the United States. Just a few weeks later, on April 13th, New York industrialist Peter Cooper established the Cooper Union for the Advancement of Science and Art, an institution dedicated to free education, still renowned today for its innovation and social impact. By early summer, the American frontier called again. On June 8th, the discovery of the Comstock lode in Utah Territory set off the rush to Washoe, the first major silver rush in U.S. history. A week later, on June 15th, tensions flared in the Pig War, a border dispute between the Americans and the British in the San Juan Islands, sparked by the shooting of a pig. Though bloodless, it highlighted the fragile boundaries of empire. Then, on June 17th, California experienced an extraordinary natural event. The only recorded simoom, a scorching desert wind, hit Goleta and Santa Barbara, bringing deadly heat from the inland desert. At month's end, on June 30th, crowds gathered as Charles Blondin made history, walking a tightrope across Niagara Falls, a breathtaking act that thrilled audiences on both sides of the border. On July 1st, the first intercollegiate baseball game took place between Amherst and Williams colleges, planting the seeds of one of America's greatest pastimes. Then, on August 27th, Edwin Drake struck oil near Titusville, Pennsylvania, drilling the first successful oil well in the United States and igniting the Pennsylvania oil rush. That same autumn, eccentricity met imagination. On September 17th, Joshua Norton of San Francisco declared himself His Imperial Majesty Emperor Norton I, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico. Though his reign was symbolic, Emperor Norton became a beloved local legend. The following month, on October 16th, militant abolitionist John Brown led a raid on the Harpers Ferry Armory in Virginia, hoping to spark a slave rebellion. 2 days later, on October 18th, Colonel Robert E. Lee's troops overpowered Brown's forces, leading to his capture. Despite his failure, Brown's actions sent shockwaves through the nation. On December 2nd, he was executed by hanging, but his defiance became a rallying cry for the abolitionist movement. That same year, America saw the founding of the University of Michigan Law School, and the Cape Lookout Lighthouse in North Carolina was first illuminated on November 1st. Its light visible for 19 miles, a beacon of safety for sailors along the coast. On January 24th, under the leadership of Alexandru Ioan Cuza, the provinces of Wallachia and Moldavia united under the Ottoman Empire's jurisdiction, a crucial step toward the formation of modern-day Romania. By March 9th, the Kingdom of Sardinia mobilized its army against Austria, setting in motion the Austro-Sardinian War. Around this time, French amateur astronomer Edmond Modeste Lescarbault claimed to have spotted a planet closer to the Sun than Mercury, which he called Vulcan. The discovery would later be disproven, but fascinated scientists for decades. Tragedy struck on April 28th, when the American ship Pomona sank off the coast of Ireland, claiming 424 lives. The next day, Austrian forces crossed the Ticino River into Piedmont, signaling open conflict. And on April 30th, Charles Dickens published A Tale of Two Cities, one of his greatest novels, set during the French Revolution. The Cornwall Railway opened across the Royal Albert Bridge on May 4th, connecting the English counties of Devon and Cornwall, an engineering marvel of the age. The United Kingdom held a general election on May 18th, its first under the new Liberal Party. Viscount Palmerston emerged victorious, becoming Prime Minister. That same month saw fierce battles across northern Italy. The Battle of Montebello on May 20th, Battle of Varese on May 26th, and Battle of Palestro on May 30th all ended in victories for the Franco-Sardinian alliance. Meanwhile, discoveries extended human history itself, as Joseph Prestwick and John Evans presented evidence of ancient human tools from the Somme Valley, proving the existence of prehistoric humans. By May 31st, Big Ben, the great clock of London's Palace of Westminster, began ticking for the first time. June brought more bloodshed. The Battle of Magenta on June 4th and Battle of Solferino on June 24th saw France and Sardinia defeat Austria. The horrors of Solferino inspired Henry Dunant to later found the Red Cross. On June 18th, mountaineers first ascended Aletschhorn, the second highest peak in the Bernese Alps. By July 8th, Charles XV succeeded his father as King of Sweden and Norway, while the chimes of Big Ben rang for the first time on July 11th. That same day, the preliminary Treaty of Villafranca ended the Austro-Sardinian War. Lombardy was ceded to France, then passed to Sardinia, marking a victory for Italian unification. But Europe wasn't done with surprises. In late August, the Carrington solar storm illuminated skies as far south as Colombia and disrupted telegraph networks, the largest geomagnetic storm ever recorded. As autumn arrived, tragedy struck again on October 26th, when the steamship Royal Charter wrecked off Wales, killing 454 people. Peace formally returned with the Treaty of Zurich on November 10th, and just days later, the first Zappa's Olympics opened in Greece. Then, on November 24th, Charles Darwin published On the Origin of Species, a book that transformed science and challenged centuries of belief by introducing the concept of evolution through natural selection. That same month, the French ironclad warship La Gloire was launched. The Riemann hypothesis was first proposed, and major thinkers like Karl Marx, John Stuart Mill, George Eliot, and Alfred Lord Tennyson published works that shaped philosophy, economics, and literature for generations. On January 21st, José Mariano Salas became the conservative interim president of Mexico, followed soon after by Miguel Miramón on February 2nd. Just days later, on February 4th, German scholar Konstantin von Tischendorf rediscovered the Codex Sinaiticus, one of the oldest known manuscripts of the Bible, at St. Catherine's Monastery on Mount Sinai. That same month, the Mektebi Milkiye School was founded in the Ottoman Empire, training future statesmen. On February 17th, French forces captured Saigon, marking the start of the Siege of Saigon in Vietnam. Construction began on March 3rd on the first railway in northern India, linking Allahabad and Kanpur, a milestone in Indian infrastructure. On April 18th, freedom fighter Tantia Tope was executed for his role in the Indian Rebellion of 1857. A week later, on April 25th, ground was broken for the Suez Canal, a project that would eventually reshape global trade routes. On May 5th, Brazil and Venezuela signed a treaty defining their borders along the divide between the Amazon and Orinoco basins. Then, on June 6th, Queensland was created as a new British Crown colony in Australia, with Brisbane declared its capital. Education and global expansion continued, with Bishop Cotton School founded in Shimla on July 28th, and Thomas Blake Glover beginning his merchant business in Nagasaki, Japan, that September. By December 10th, the Ateneo de Manila University was established in the Philippines, while the island of Timor was formally divided between Portugal and the Netherlands. Thanks for watching WT History. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And join us again as we uncover the stories of the next year in history.